right, so I am Brooks, and this is Broro Car Whiz. To my right, I have
Bryce Rowland, sales trainer at Lexus Southern Area.
And I'm very excited to show you the Lexus LC500. We're about to go for a drive, and I am very excited. So hopefully we can do a little Q&A and learn a little bit more about the LC. So we're in the 500, which has the 5.0 liter naturally aspirated V8, 471 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque, and a 10-speed automatic.
Yes.
That's a Lexus first, right?
Yes, it's a luxury industry first. Not the first in the entire auto industry, but the first application in a luxury car.
Something like an F-150 beating it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking about right now. So one thing you might notice is the steering is much more highly tuned in this car, so that you get a lot more road feel in it. Engineers spent a lot of time making sure that the steering was very, very nicely weighted, less electrically assisted from some of our other cars.
Gotcha.
One of the reasons we did the run flat tires is because we wanted the weight distribution of this car to be as close to 50-50 as possible. So we took out the spare tire and put the 12-volt battery that would typically be in the front
in the back.
Its place.
I don't even know what to say.
Well, we'll talk about the fact that this is the performance package. So
Okay.
There's three packages on the car that we're building in the Southern area. First is the touring package. So it's about $5,000 just options already on the car. And then we're building the sport package. So you can either get the sport package with the glass roof or the carbon fiber roof. And it adds the not torque vectoring rear differential, but just the Torsen limited slip differential. We're saving the torque vectoring for possibly something in the future. Go straight, please. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. That one's something for a much more track-oriented car. And then you upgrade to the performance package, and if you do that, we assume that you're more of a driver's car kind of person. So we add in variable gear ratio steering, which is that tune steering that I was mentioning. Rear wheel steering, which is available on this car, not available at standard. And then you have the active rear wing spoiler, standard carbon roof and carbon fiber door sills. So standard features, all the safety features that we have in Lexus Safety System Plus. The heads-up display is standard. Mark Levinson 13-speaker, 915-watt audio system is standard. It's the largest subwoofer we've ever put in a Lexus, so it definitely sounds really good. And 13 speakers in this small of a space.
Exactly.
With as many channels, 11 channels that it has. It's crazy. So, you hear that? That sounds so good.
It's amazing.
And it's the same basic engine overall as the RCF, GSF, and ISF that was once was, but with different. Obviously, the 10-speed automatic enhances.
You can't even feel it.
I mean, it's completely different. Now it's even more abrupt and maybe a little rougher feeling if you do it in manual mode, but that's on purpose because we want it to be the quickest shift times as possible. But you do actually have an even sweeter engine note. They did some studies to try and find what were the most pleasing sounds to the human ear, and they found a way to using the exhaust as well as the air intake, not generator but the amplifier. It's not fake noise.
Right.
Found a way to make sure that at any RPM, any given time, that the sound of the engine is very pleasing to your ear, and it is.
It certainly is. They succeeded there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It just fires away. Yeah.
Have you been able to take one home yet?
Yes, I've taken the hybrid. I haven't taken a gas one. I only took the gas one to dinner one night and then had to bring it back. In Miami. Yeah. Darn, I was in Miami.
What a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Anything about the interior we need to know?
Well, we could go on and on and on about the interior. Given that this is the performance package, the sport and the performance package have different seats.
Okay.
So these are much more heavily bolstered, especially around your shoulders. again, we assume that the sport and performance driver is much more of a driver's kind of person.
Right.
So, and given its enhanced traction abilities and handling abilities, we've increased that shoulder area and the bolstering overall. We've also added Alcantara suede-like material on the center of the seats instead of semi-aniline leather. This car, everywhere you look, is covered in either Alcantara or leather. It's just completely luxurious.
And all the metal is real. And
everything that looks metal is real. So it's kind of supposed to be a blend of a natural, organic look. If you look at the door panels, it's got this nice curve to them, really swoopy, even incorporating some shadows into it. With this kind of folded look right here, it's inspired by bamboo shoots. And then the overall look of the interior of the car is inspired by a calla lily, if you're familiar with that. So definitely taken from nature, but also including the high-tech feel. Like I said, everything's metal.
Right.
Got a lot of really incredible technology features inside the car. The shift knob, I mean, they even measured in 0.1 millimeter increments the amount of foam that's going to lay on the top section of that shifter right there.
Incredible.
And I mean, 0.1 millimeters, a millimeter is a pin stroke.
Right.
So 1.3 millimeters, apparently that was Goldilocks. So yeah, hit it. I love what the exhaust does when it shifts gears.
That FRS does not know what to do.
No, it doesn't.
Holds those gears like
oh yeah, and you can tell a difference. I mean, between eco, comfort, normal, sport plus. There's definitely a difference in even the ride is adjusted to the damping, and comfort is literally comfortable.
But it's comfortable even in Sport Plus.
It is.
Yeah, it's not harsh. It's not
right. Now, I think I was telling you earlier, the adaptive variable suspension is now called linear adaptive variable suspension. When you put it in Sport Plus mode, and no matter what mode, it's always monitoring the pavement and the roughness of it. But in Sport Plus mode, it's monitoring it even more, and it has up to 600 automatic adjustments that it's doing at all times to make sure that it's being optimized for the type of driving, the type of pavement. So if you're doing really aggressive driving, it's going to keep the car as stable as possible through corners, no matter what pavement it is. And if you're doing a little bit less aggressive driving, it's not going to be as rough. So it's going to be much more stable when you want it to be, and much more comfortable when you want it to be. It's very smart. Well, okay, so here's something that's really important, and I've shared with our salespeople about this car that they need to share this, and it needs to be one of the first things they need to say. And it is, this car is the closest to a concept car that a production car has ever come.
Oh yeah, I mean, even the headlights, didn't they have to design those specially just...
Yes. So there's so much that we can talk about on the exterior, and we really should, especially when we get out to it. But yes, the headlights, the suspension, the way that the hood is designed, it's so low, it doesn't meet pedestrian
didn't they have to install those hydraulics?
Yes, like basically little sticks of dynamite, like airbag actuators. Just all of those things. With so little real estate, they had so much that they had to work with. So the way we even made it possible was because, again, the concept car was never meant to go into production.
But everyone loved it.
Everyone loved the car. And so Akio Toyota, who has the Toyota family name, he's kind of our chief of Lexus, said it's time to make Lexus much more a passionate, emotional brand. It cannot be the same that it's always been. So instead of what normally happens when we have our engineers in Japan and our designers in either Japan or California, kind of not really talking to each other, we actually put them at the same table and said, all right, make it work. So they did.
I mean, it looks just like the LC did.
Yeah, exactly. Which should have been impossible.
But expecting impossible. This is comfort mode.
Yeah, I know. You don't get quite the pop of the exhaust in comfort mode, but it's still beautiful.
The brakes, I can't even get over that.
15.7 inches in the front and 14.1 inches in the rear. The front brakes are bigger than the first wheels that we ever put on a Lexus LS. It's crazy. not even cross-drilled. So like that again tells you, how I said we don't have a torque vectoring differential. That leaves room for perhaps a higher performance model in the future. So, hint.
Could do that all day.
I know. So I mentioned weight distribution on this car, and a lot of people, like some of our competitors, the one that starts with a B, ends with a W, always touts that they're all about 50-50 weight distribution, and that is a good thing for performance capabilities. And even our commercial for this car shows the car being lifted up and it being nearly 50-50 in terms of weight distribution. But what's actually even more important in driving dynamics is if the car's center of gravity is close to your center of gravity, which is where your hip is. And this car was tuned so that they would get it as close to that as possible. Now, they didn't get it perfectly, and almost no car is perfect. A lot of reason being because no car has a seat in the center of the car.
Yeah, it's got something like an engine up front.
It's really difficult to do that. But the engineers and designers, they basically made the engine lower, brought it back farther, and the seat position, everything, all of the weight of the car is trying to get towards the center of your center of gravity.
Right.
So you feel like the car is kind of an extension of you, rather than, you get in a big SUV like your 4Runner, and it's like you turn the wheel, you turn, then the car turns. It's very disconnected.
And you're tipping while you're doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. This car is all about the balance. So not only is it comfortable, it's high performance, and you feel like you are perfectly in control of this car. So, some of the best engineering, I think, that's ever happened in a car.
It's all in the details, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at it, even looking at it is amazing, but then, beyond the surface is...
Agreed.
Wow. Like
this piece right here, just around the shifter, you look at it and it's like, oh, that's a nice piece of material, and then you touch it and you realize, oh, it's soft. Oh, it's leather. When you actually get to experience it and feel it and interact with all these things, you really come to appreciate what you have around you.
Pictures don't do it justice.
Not at all.
Sitting in it just in the auto show does not do it justice.
You have to experience it.
Yes.
Experience amazing, right?
Yes.
Feel free to edit that out. That's cheesy.
I love it. We talked some about the exterior. Any other design elements? I know the grille. This is the basis for the next generation of Lexus cars in terms of design, right? So anything on that front. Obviously we're still, the spindle grille is.
It's still loud and proud.
Right.
It's not going away. So.
And it's intimate, and I believe it's implemented very well on this car.
It is, and first of all, before I go on to future car design, you look at the spindle grille and you're like, yeah, that's really great. It's really cool. Then you trace the outline of it, and you go all the way to the back of the car, and you see that the back of the car is shaped like a spindle.
Yes.
Then you look at the car from above, and you realize, holy crap, this entire car is a spindle. It's no longer just a spindle grille, it's spindle architecture.
Right.
So the car's whole design is themed around the spindle grille, which I just cannot believe how cohesive they were able to make that. This car is a $100,000 piece of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing what they were able to do with that. And then, you can actually trace some of the lines of the hood up here to this metallic strip right in both doors. There's literally a line that goes right into the car. So they actually tied the exterior with the interior, too.
Right to the driver.
Right to the driver.
Now, and these are, the pillars are modeled after swords, right?
Yeah, so actually it's on the, not the A-pillar, but it starts at the top of the A-pillar and goes back to the floating C-pillar. Gotcha. And so the silver trim is modeled after the katana sword, the Japanese sword. I don't know if you know, Lexus is a Japanese company, so...
Had no idea.
We harken back to our heritage. Another tiny little detail is instead of physical locks on this car, we have a little light here.
Right.
A lot of people, especially in the US, are going to get a little bit confused at first because when it's locked, they light up green. And usually people think green, go, whatever. But in Japan, whenever you have a taxi that's coming towards you, if it's available, it's red. The light's red on it. And if it's locked and loaded,
it's green.
It's green. So it's
harkening
back to Japanese culture. I mean, this car just, like I said, every detail.
And every detail counts.
The taillights too, or something.
The Infinity L.
Yeah, an L, of course.
Right. Oh yeah, just like the volume knob and the
volume knob's got these little. They're metal and they're actually not embezzled, but what's the word?
Carved.
They're carved. We'll call it that. With little tiny L's. The panel right in front of the passenger kind of looks like Z's, but I mean, if you use your imagination, it's meant to evoke the L. They have that same pattern at the bottom of the headlights, and even the tires on the edge of them have L's. So it's all over. You're not going to forget that you're driving a Lexus.
No.
Here's your last chance on the Lexus racetrack. Make it count.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you.
So, of course.
I appreciate it more than you know.
Of course. Happy to do it.
And I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more.